Good morning, everybody. My name is Jody. My husband David John and I have a small farm in the panhandle of North Idaho, and these are our stories and adventures. So welcome to Moose Flats Farm. And this year has been weird. I've had slugs in the garden and one confirmed skunk, and I think I've got another one. I put a have-a-heart trap back into the chicken coop, and I'll show you where he's dug under. Haven't smelled one, but evaded the trap now 2 days in a row, or actually 3, but I'm going to take it out and kind of fill the hole back in, and hopefully he's moved on. But haven't noticed any birds missing. I know, with the amount that I have, how would I know? But there would be feathers and other items that would show if something was being got. So here in the chicken coop, you can kind of see that area dug out and goes right underneath my side of the shed. So I've got a big rock that I'm going to stick in there, rake this back down and try to get it semi back to normal, new shavings, and then show you something exciting that happened. That it was way easier than we thought it was going to be, and of course didn't get it on camera. So let me get this area cleaned up and I'll be right back with you. So I've gone through, refilled the nest boxes, got a big rock in that hole and got it refilled. But as I was going through and cleaning, found a really uber tiny egg. But yesterday when I got home from work, David John had been working on getting gates built for the separation between the geese and the ducks. And we're like, oh, let's just put it up and see, because we got the fence strung, and I'll show you that. And it wound up being uber easy getting the ducks out of the goose pen and the geese herded into there. I think it took us 5 minutes, took longer to hang the gate. But there are the geese in their own pen. And as far as the pond goes, I've got Emmy. The black fencing, it goes down, and I've got stepping stones underwater just to hold this down to keep them separated. And I've still got that enough bait. The fence just cuts right along there. And a couple of my Muscovy hens and flew in there this morning. So the next step will be to run the fence to separate the Muscovies from the rest of the yard and get the gate put on, the new gate put on the where the chicken entrance is. But the gate is pretty much going to go from that pole straight across to that pole, with a gate right here in the middle. And we're making sure that the gates are wide enough to get the tractor and trailer through. And over here by the hoop house, I did get that flower bed, or shouldn't call it a flower bed, that bed where I showed you where I was gonna do the horseradish. Show you that. So I did go through and get the horseradish and garlic chives planted in there, and in all the open spaces that you see, that it has garlic planted in it. And I did put a soaker hose down, and yes, I tested it before I started planting, and it works. So this will be full of garlic and the horseradish and chives next year. And then in the garden itself, I got this one bed planted with the 2 different types of garlic. Still have to go and put shavings on it. But now I need to get this bed dug up and get the rest of my hardneck and the little bit of softneck garlic I have left planted in there. Don't think I'm going to have enough to do a second in-ground bed of garlic, which I think between that raised bed, that bed, and then these 2 here, will definitely have enough garlic and enough garlic scapes, because I really like using the garlic scapes when I'm doing the pickled green beans, because it gives you that crunch and it adds garlic flavor to the green beans. So let's cut these sunflowers down and pull the corn out and see where the bed's at. Oops. So now that I've timbered the sunflowers, gonna go through and see about getting the soaker hose pulled up and getting the corn and the sunflower roots dug out so we can get the garlic planted. The only bad thing about sunflowers in the garden beds is they do hold a lot of soil in their roots. Now that I've got it kind of turned and leveled out and the soaker hose is back in place, I have gone through and prepped the, which one is this? This is the German Extra Hardy. Now we'll get over here, and I do have a few of the soft neck, so I'm going to start with the soft neck over here and then work my way that way with the German Extra Hardy. And I've got stakes and labels so I can mark where everything's going to be. Okay, so just like last time, you've got your top and bottom. This is going to be the top to your garlic, and that's the bottom, so you're going to plant it that way about 3 to 4 inches down. And then we'll go through and get it watered in good and then put the shavings in. So I'm going to go through and get these guys planted. So as you can see, got both beds done, and as you saw in the time lapse, I did wind up planting the garlic just by using my hand and not the shovel. I needed my other hand to hold my balance so I didn't fall into the bed, but still was able to get it 3 to 4 inches deep. And the potato bed, after not having potatoes for a couple of years, is still giving us some potatoes. So got a little box of new potatoes for dinner tonight. So I'm gonna go clean up my mess, and then I think we're gonna work on collecting some of the green beans and the pole beans that are ready to be picked because they're nice and dry. So as far as the green beans go, I'm just going to be pulling them out, and anything that's dry and ready to be saved I'm going to put into a tote. And I'm just going to work on the bush beans first, and then when I get them up to the seed shed I will label them. And I'm just going to start pulling out the green beans, even though we haven't frosted yet. We were 36 this morning, so we're really close. Trying to stay ahead of stuff. So let's start getting these pulled out and see how many are going to be worth saving. So, well, I kicked the camera. It's like this one, even though it's a little still on the green side, I'm going to pick it just to put in the bucket to cure. But it's like those ones are definitely dry and ready for saving. So a couple mix, so I'm going to go through, and when I get this bed cleaned up I'll show you where this bed left me for seeds for next year. So that gets this bed cleaned out, minus all the onion seeds, and got a pretty decent start on green bean seeds for next year. Going to go through and get the other 4 beds, and then we'll work on getting the cattle panels cleaned off of the pole beans. Okay, so that gets me a tub of bush beans to dry and cure, and even if only half of these germinate next year, that will definitely give me plenty of green bean seeds to start, since I still have some in the house from this year. So now we're gonna work on the pole beans, and they're going to go into a different tray so we know the difference. And because most of the ones that are ripe for picking are way up, it makes it a little more of a challenge. So that gets that trellis almost cleaned off. Got quite a bit of pole beans pulled off it. Now I need to work on the purple pole beans. And that one I'm not sure how close to ripe they are, but I'd rather pull the beans now and at least have the greens to feed the birds before the frost comes. I know I keep saying the frost is coming. It will eventually get here. So on the purple ones, I am trying to specifically go for the ones that have the fatter seed, so hopefully they'll be good to go. So that gets me a good harvest of the purple green beans. Half the trellis stripped down. It was going good till I hit the 550 cord that had the solar lights. So gonna get the rest of this cleaned up and pulled out, and I'll be back with you guys in just a minute. So I gone through, got all the green beans pulled off the vines, and my hyacinth bean vine that's in the terracotta pots. Of course, it's now putting on flowers. I've waited all summer for these plants to bloom, and now they're not. Or they're gonna bloom and not in time. So the tomatoes that are on the trellis back here behind me are the little champagne tomatoes. And they taste kind of weird. They're like really sweet. So I'm not gonna worry about picking them. I'm just gonna pull it all off and throw it behind the pepper hoop house, because it is, even though the tomatoes are red, they're safe for the birds to eat. I'm not gonna spend the time to pick these little tiny champagnes to feed to the birds. But first I'm gonna go through in the in-ground garden where all the tomatoes are and pick anything with color, so we can start getting those vines culled out. So how I'm going to sort these tomatoes, and I've got 2 clear totes like this. One is going to have tomatoes that are completely ripe and good to go into the freezer for processing later this fall. The other tote, I'm going to put ones that are starting to turn color. and they'll go in the seed shed to finish ripening. Anything that's green, I'm just going to leave on, and it will get dumped in the compost area behind the hoop house. And any of the tomatoes that are they're ripe but they're bad are going to go into the wheelbarrow for the birds. It's like this guy here, he's going to go into the seed shed and hopefully finish up ripening. And like this one here, a bug had gotten into it, so that one will go to the birds. And quite a few of these are just going to be going into the seed shed to finish ripening. And it's like, these ones here are my black crim. They're ones that stay with a green shoulder, but the underside is blushing, so that's what I'm looking for. These still need a little bit more time to ripen. Well, I only got a couple that are ripe enough to come in, but got all of them picked. That one's got a bad spot, so I didn't pick it. But have a tub of ones that are turning color. We'll take them into the seed shed and lay them out, so hopefully they'll finish ripening. And the next day or two, I can get out here and get all these tomatoes removed so I can start rearranging the cattle panels. So I came out into the seed shed to spread the tomatoes out, and remembered that I've got to get all these peppers picked and the peppers pulled out of here so I have room to lay the tomatoes out, because I've got boxes of apples everywhere. So squirrel moment. Got to get this cleaned up. So this is where I'm going to end today's video. I hope you have a good day and a good week. And until the next adventure, we'll talk to you later. Bye. And I should probably insert that we are going to be going down to, for the most part, 1 day a week on our videos. The stuff is kind of slowing down. When we are doing special projects, there will be extra footage put out, but right now everything's kind of slowing down, so yeah, we'll be back to just 1 day a week for the winter. So, but don't forget to hit the like and subscribe for that 1 day a week. Love you guys. Bye. Well, guys, didn't like how I ended that. So there's the peppers I was able to get out of the plants that were in here and that were struggling and dying back. And as far as the tomatoes go, I've just put a piece of newspaper down and just have them laid down there to hopefully finish ripening. So this is where I'm honestly going to end the video. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.